Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Grow With Me, D.Tyler, Season 1, Episode 6. Today I want to share a growth moment that is very sensitive, but I think it will be helpful to whoever is watching. This ain't no tea, but it's definitely a testimony. My husband and I have been together since high school, so we were together before our brains were fully developed. I'm 35 and we have been together for 20 years. So more than half of my life was with this man, and this man has been with me. It's been a journey that I can say I am super proud of, but it wasn't always a proud journey. Honestly, it was really painful at times for both of us, mainly because we were so young and we made such an important commitment. We have had many setbacks and challenges. I've even suffered with bouts of depressions throughout our marriage. Although we have had many highlights, especially with having 2 beautiful children, one reason why I suffered was because I thought that my identity was in being a wife and a mother. And I thought that that identity would fill some kind of void that I had in my life, especially when it came to my purpose. But I was wrong. I was raised to be a wife and a mother, so that was my programming. And my purpose in life suffered because I got stuck in those roles, in that type of programming. I fell for the princess and the prince fairy tale. That was nothing but bullcrap. The fairy tale was a lie. Do not believe the lies. I want everyone to hear me when I say this. You should not fall in love with anyone. Falling implies that you tripped, stumbled, something happened accidentally. So before you sign your name to a lifelong commitment on accident, make sure you read the tiny words at the bottom. Don't fall for anything, please. But I would recommend that you grow with someone. I recommend that you choose someone that is committed to having a teachable spirit. That's one of the best ways to have a healthy partnership in a marriage. Unfortunately, in the beginning, there was a lot that we didn't know. Specifically, there were things that I did not know outside of my training. I didn't know what wellness meant to an individual, better yet, a marriage. I didn't know how to have a healthy disagreement. I didn't know that I was projecting my insecurities and frustrations onto my husband. I didn't know that we really weren't friends because we really didn't trust each other with the depths of our heart's desires. I didn't know how to speak the type of life that my husband needed when I was younger, because everyone's life is different. So we should be speaking the life that's specifically for that person in their assignment. Why would I speak a teacher life over my husband if he's a fisherman? If my husband is a fisherman, he doesn't need a dry erase marker. He needs a tackle box. So speaking the life over your spouse needs to be in line with their assignment. So back to the growth moment. My husband wasn't perfect and neither was I. We both had to grow up with each other. Listen, with babies and bills, marriage gets difficult. One of the reasons why we suffered so much is because we were just very disconnected. We both were there, but we weren't there. We would have different schedules. I would stay busy to avoid connecting with him. I didn't feel heard. He didn't feel heard. I felt rejected. He felt rejected. You see that cycle? See, I would rather spend time talking to my sister or my friends because I felt safer there with them to share my heart and my thoughts. And what's crazy is he would spend time talking to his family members. He would be laughing on his phone in the house and I would be laughing on my phone, but we were not laughing together because we were disconnected. I believe we both developed some resentment and bitterness towards each other. One point I thought it was over. There was a point I couldn't feel anything, and that was really scary. I think the hardest part was that we couldn't find a friend in each other. I asked God to really help me, help us, because our relationship was getting toxic. And I didn't want to live this way, and I didn't want my husband to live this way. I wanted us both to be happy. And I was determined not to celebrate another anniversary if it was going to be toxic. I'm not here for toxic anniversaries. That's whack. That's not what I signed up for. All I knew is that we needed help and our family was on dangerous ground. I wanted God's will to be done in our marriage, even above my selfishness or my self-serving desires. I prayed for a clear answer, and God gave us both a clear answer: to stay in the marriage and to fight. Even though that's not the answer I expected or wanted. Just because I couldn't see us being genuinely happy with each other. I thought we had outgrown each other and had grown too far apart. The next prayer request that I had for God was, Lord, I need a whole new heart. Not a clean one, just give me a whole new heart transplant. The one I had, it wasn't working anymore. I didn't have any fight left in that heart. I was numb. Again, God answered my prayer. And He did it in a way I didn't expect. He gave me a new heart through my husband, through the very person that I was at odds with. My husband wasn't numb. He was very much alive and he felt everything. He had fight that I didn't know existed. He was highly aware of me and my need and our need for God's healing. And in him, I saw a true miracle. He started talking differently. And at first, when he transformed, I made fun of him because I didn't think that his transformation was real. And so I just want to say this. Even if you don't believe someone has changed, I believe you should give them room to do so, especially in a marriage. But if you are in an abusive relationship, get to safety. This message is not for you. If trust has been broken in a non-violent way, if at all possible, allow room for trust to be earned. I believe that's grace. Real change is consistently trying to do better, consistently being intentional. And my husband was more consistent and more intentional than I could ever dream or imagine. He is still blowing my mind. The words he started to use, the way he started to act, the way he started to pursue things, it was definitely Holy Spirit filled. The way he took accountability as my covering took me by surprise. So at first, I agreed to be in this fight for my marriage out of obedience to God. But after seeing him in action and seeing his transformation, I was transformed too. And I began to fight with faith. I began to fight with hope because I now believed in this love for my husband deeper than I had ever believed in this love before. We were finally friends again. We trusted each other again with our hearts and our thoughts. I started listening better. I started responding better. Don't get me wrong, we still had tough conversations, but we started to have those disagreements with love. That's when I knew it was real, and this time things were going to be different. Real change had taken place. We would finally be living in the intended space and intended purpose in our place of marriage. We will be living in the intended purpose of marriage. From my experience, when you are learning how to love someone properly, there will come times when confrontation is going to arise. And how you meet each other with confrontation will be the litmus test of how much you are committed to loving that person. Cursing your spouse out to filth should not be easy to do. Talking down to them should not be easy to do. Not listening to them should not be easy for you to do. Not talking to them should not be easy for you to do. Walking away should not be easy for you to do. Washing your hands from them should not be easy for you to do. I saw my husband putting in the work. It made me want to outwork him. My husband's consistency revived me. The love and patience he put in was unbelievable and undeniable. Our marriage, every day healing, every day becoming more whole, and every day becoming more well. It is a true miracle. But after a while, I started to fall short. Depression reared its ugly head again, and I was in a place of discomfort. I was frustrated, and I was going back to toxic behaviors I once had. And my husband, instead of distancing himself or shutting down, he showed me a mirror by the way he loved me and the way he spoke to me with so much support and concern. It wasn't him that was at fault. I couldn't blame him anymore. I couldn't project onto him my stuff. I had to deal with me. I had an encounter with God that put me on a path of keeping the mirror in my face in a real way. I realized that there were some things that were not healed in me. That's why I couldn't be consistently happy in my marriage, because I wasn't happy with me. And I have been on a journey to love me better so that I can show up the way God intended for me to show up. Right now, I'm not able to talk to my therapist as much as I would like, but I'm reading God's word and I'm reading the books and I'm spending the time in creative spaces that help me stay positive. I've gone to the doctor in search of better health, and I've discovered that I have a hormonal issue that affects my mood and can cause me to have depression. I'm working on me. That's a huge part of being well. And I'm doing the things that fill my cup with happiness and joy. I'm doing my work because my husband is not responsible for that. I just want my husband to know that I love you and I thank you for loving me even at times when I was unlovable. I've been in church my whole life, but you have been the greatest example of Jesus that I have ever seen, heard, or experienced. There was a time when I thought that this marriage would send us straight to hell, but I see now our marriage is a journey for life eternal. And God has been keeping us this whole time. I love you so much, Mr. Tyler. So to you watching, thank you for growing with me today. And until next time, don't stop here. Keep growing.
I know the odds are stacked against you, and it seems there's no way out. I know the issues seem